Hey guys, Metal Jesus here, and today I am very excited to be traveling again. I'm going to be going to Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm so excited for this. I've been traveling a lot lately. This is like my third trip in probably 3 months or something like that. But this time I'm primarily going down to visit family, but you guys know me. While I'm down there, I'm going to have to visit some retro gaming stores. As a matter of fact, I'm going to visit 3 of them that I've heard some good things about. Plus, I'm also going to check out the Pinball Hall of Fame Museum. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you everything that I picked up, as well as doing some sightseeing. It's been several years since I have traveled down to Las Vegas, and I didn't exactly know what to expect. Like I said, I have family there, and so I get reports every now and then, and I've heard that Vegas is starting to come back after all the shutdowns. So I'm actually pretty excited to land there and kind of see what it's all about. Now, one of the interesting things about this trip is that we booked it probably 6 or 8 months ago when Vegas was shut down, and they were basically just begging for people to book trips there. So we actually got this trip extremely cheap, but more importantly than that, this hotel that we're staying in, the Palazzo, they were giving these rooms away. And check out this room. I mean, it's massive, yet it was the price of like staying at the Best Western. So of course we were very excited to go down there and check it out, but also just be able to stay in this amazing room. And I have to say, Vegas was busier than I expected it to be. Like I said, I didn't know exactly what to expect, but I had heard that Vegas was back, and absolutely, as you can see here, yeah, Vegas is definitely back. It was packed here. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't know exactly what to expect when it comes to the retro gaming scene down in Vegas. None of my family's really into it quite like I am, but I did reach out to Reggie a little bit, who had been down here earlier this year, and his experience was a little bit hit and miss depending on the stores. He told me the ones that I should probably check out, and I'm glad I did, because first on that list was a store, actually there's 2 of them, we're going to hit both of them, but is Retro City Games. And I got to be honest, as soon as I pulled up, I was not disappointed, because they were running a sidewalk sale. You see it right here, out in the front. Every single game here was $1. Every single game here. Now, it was full of a bunch of common, titles, nothing really super rare, obviously. But as you can see, there was a lot of stuff here, especially if you are going for like a complete collection, or maybe you're looking for something new and cheap to play. Wow, I thought this was a great first impression. But then you go inside and you get a sense of why this place is so highly regarded in the Vegas area. They have a little of everything. As you see here, they have obviously, all of the old stuff, a lot of the new stuff, plus they have a lot of toys and action figures. But then I started noticing all of the box systems that they have. Again, stuff that I normally don't see unless I actually go to a retro gaming expo. A lot of expensive, kind of hard to find systems like the JVC XI. You have box Sega systems here. Now, I don't remember the last time I saw a box Turbo Duo, as well as, again, a Genesis CDX in the box, plus the Playdia. It's crazy. So that was really cool stuff to see. But then the owner came out and he's like, oh, dude, you have no idea. So he did a trade recently with a collector. I'm not sure who it was, but basically I believe it's a local collector who was trying to get rid of all of their handheld stuff. And he was like, do you want to just dig through the box? Of course I said yes, and I'm so glad I did, because I was amazed at what I was seeing in here. I don't remember the last time I saw a sealed Gamecom handheld. I mean, this was wild to see. And as you see here, he's got a ton of sealed Gamecom games. And I was laughing because I was like, well, first of all, this is not like I don't know, it's not like a popular handheld. But again, to see them like this, I was just amazed how many games they had with it. Multiple versions of the handheld. I mean, this was just hilarious, and it kept on going. This box here was really interesting because it was full of stuff you just rarely see, including this GCW Zero. New, never been even turned on before. So that's an emulation machine. It's an open source handheld. It's actually pretty cool. check this thing out. It's called the Mega Duck. I'd never heard of this thing before. I guess it was made in Hong Kong, sold all around the world. It takes these cartridges. That was wild. It's like I had never seen that before. But I gotta be honest with you, I mean, seeing all of these complete in-box cartridges for it was kind of tempting to jump on this. I mean, I don't know anything about it. It's probably crap. I'm assuming. I have no idea. But to see a collection like this, you know, for sale is pretty cool. I didn't realize that there's so many licensed Gamecom games that came out for that handheld. I actually don't really know that much about the system other than it's pretty much universally hated. But to see a collection like this was pretty amazing. And then check out all of these Supervision games. Again, brand new, complete in their packaging. Now, this is a system that I originally saw. I think John Hancock has one, but I don't know if he's actually got all of these games for it. This was a very funky competitor to the original Game Boy. Again, I don't think it was very successful in the United States, but as you can see here, they had a decent amount of games released for it. And again, as I go deeper into this bin here, I'm just blown away by all of the stuff that I have never seen before. I mean, it's just wild to see all of this just sitting in a bin here. This is a massive trade. Again, it was very cool to see. So that was a quick tour of Retro City Games, but that's only one of their two stores. They actually have another one that we're gonna check out here in a moment. And like I said, I did pick up some stuff and I'll show you what I got at the end of this video. Across town is the other location, and this one is actually part of a fairly upscale outdoor mall that has a lot of really nice stores around it. I mean, you see a lot of Audis and Porsches driving through here. So it's not something that you typically see with the retro gaming store. And then when you walk in, it's actually a bigger location. And you see here, it's got a bunch of games in the front, but then you also have a bunch of action figures and collectibles and pop culture stuff in the back there. And so this location definitely has a lot of variety going on here. I mean, they even have comic books and DVD movies and things like that. So they're definitely utilizing their space really well. The first thing that I noticed right off the bat, up above there, they had an alien face hugger. This is like a full-size collectible that you could put in your game room. Oh man, that would be really cool to have in mine. A little bit more expensive than I probably would want to spend, but I did think that was really cool. Towards the front of the store, I noticed that they have a lot of import games, and this is the type of stuff I typically gravitate towards these days because you tend to find some really interesting stuff that maybe didn't come out in North America. I like seeing this type of stuff here, especially the PlayStation 1, the PSP games, stuff like that. I noticed that they had a decent selection of Sega Genesis games here, a lot of them boxed. There was a lot of titles here that I was like, oh man, it'd be cool to own those. In the back of the store, they had a bunch of early Atari stuff back there, and they told me that, hey, it normally doesn't look like this, but they're kind of moving some inventory around. But honestly, I don't mind when it looks like this. I think it's really fun to dig through it, try to find some stuff that maybe you've never seen before, kind of just get surprised a little bit. And I actually did find a couple Atari cartridges that I didn't have in the collection, so I had to pick them up. I do think that this store has more of the action figures and pop culture collectibles, and that's probably because they just have a bigger store here, and so it's easier for them to display it. Also because it's part of the mall, I assume that they probably get a more casual customer coming in the door. I know my wife, she definitely preferred this store because that's kind of what she's into. She saw more things here that she would love to actually buy. So overall, this is a very cool store, but I do like the first location better because it just has more of the extremely uncommon stuff there, the stuff you just almost never see. But it's important to know that they do share inventory between stores, and if you happen to live closer to one than the other, you can always ask them about that, and usually they'll bring stuff from one store to another for you. So that's really nice. Later on that evening, we decided to check out Fremont Street. So if you're not familiar with Vegas, there is the famous Strip, which has all the big casinos and hotels. But if you get a little bit outside of that, there is Fremont Street, which actually I think is even cooler. I mean, you know, you want to check out the Strip, obviously, but down in Fremont Street, it's It's just a little bit more intimate. It's not quite as grand, and I believe it's actually the older part of Vegas, and I actually prefer it. And it's here where you'll see a lot of live bands, a lot of street performers, a lot of DJs, a lot of walk-up restaurants, a lot of walk-up bars that you can attend. There's also clubs here. Again, it's very much like if you took the normal Las Vegas Strip and then just squeezed it down into a couple city blocks. And so a couple things to know about this is that, yes, it is definitely more crowded here because it's more concentrated. And also it's definitely louder. As you see, this is my Apple Watch detecting loud noises. It was giving me a decibel warning here because it was definitely loud. You know, of course, it's Vegas, right? So you're here, you're having a good time, anything goes. So it was definitely fun. Now, the first thing you're going to notice when you get here is that they have this massive LED ceiling that just runs most of the length of it. When I was here probably 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago, this wasn't complete. But to see it in action now, animating and changing all the time, it is so cool. It's almost like sensory overload when you're just walking down the street, because up above you, again, it's constantly changing. It's not just one type of thing. You know, as your time goes on, as the hours go on, you'll see all sorts of stuff in this ceiling. It's absolutely brilliant. It's cool. Also, at one end of this is the Plaza Hotel and Casino, which should look pretty familiar to fans of Back to the Future 2. That was used to be Biff Tannen's hotel in that movie, and so that put a huge smile on my face because I love that movie. Next, we're going to check out something that I've heard about for years now, and I'm happy to finally go there, is the Pinball Hall of Fame Museum. I love this because as you pull up, you see it has the word pinball there on the side of the building, as though you could see it from space. I mean, there is no question where you're going when you pull up and just park here. It's hilarious. And a lot of people have told me to check this out over the years. And, I'll be honest with you, I like pinball, but I'm not, hardcore about it. And so I didn't know exactly what to expect, but I'll tell you what, this place did not disappoint because, well, for one, yes, it's an entire history of pinball and pinball machines, but also there are arcade games in here as well. And not just new ones and not just old ones. It really is across the gamut here. It's a little of everything. And what's great about this place, as you can see, it's absolutely massive. It's this huge warehouse and it's completely free to get into. So that's why you see a lot of parents here with little kids, because it's one of those places in Vegas where you can take the entire family here and have a really good time. Now, the way that this is run, it's completely volunteer based. And so the way they make their money is simply either by donations or by playing pinball. So the pinball machines, to be fair, and the arcade machines, they're not set to free to play. You do have to pay to play them. They've got a little coin machine up at the front there. And so it ranges anywhere from a quarter to a couple bucks, depending on the machine and, how new it is, how expensive it is. But that's how they make their money here. And so it's all volunteer based. As a matter of fact, you see a couple of them here maintaining and cleaning the machines. I thought this was pretty cool. So this is not some dusty museum that's just left to wither and die. It's well maintained. These are all really great running machines here. I was very impressed. And the thing about pinball that I really enjoy is that it's a mix of electronics and mechanical. Actually, depending on how far back you go, sometimes they're just 100% mechanical, right? And they've been slowly adding in some digital elements to these, all the way up to some of the brand new ones, like you see the Iron Maiden one here, and everything in between. And so, yeah, my wife and I had a ton of fun hanging out at the Pinball Museum here. And again, it's free to get into, and for $5 or $10, you can play a ton of stuff. Vegas is actually pretty expensive normally, so I feel like this is one of the really reasonable things that you can do as a family. And again, just hang out for hours here. It's awesome. After that, I wanted to do something maybe a little bit different, get out of the city a bit. And, Las Vegas is a desert and it's surrounded by these beautiful hills that you can see off in the distance. And so I had a car. I was like, well, let's just go for a drive and let's check it out. And so what I ended up doing was going up to Red Rock Canyon, which is, maybe 20 minutes outside of the city. But as you can see here, it's absolutely beautiful. In many ways, this kind of reminds me of the drier eastern side of Washington State. And so yeah, this was kind of a nice little diversion, nice little trip outside of the city. Heading back into town, not very far off of the Strip, is a place that Reggie told me to check out called A Gamer's Paradise. From the outside, this place might look kind of small, but once you walk in here, you realize that it goes way far back. And as you spend some time in here, you realize that there is some amazing stuff in here. This place blew my mind. Check this out. Towards the back, they have this small, compact, I guess you would call it like a computer gaming history museum. I mean, this thing, everywhere you look, is something very uncommon, extremely hard to find. I was, again, just blown away by the stuff that they just had sitting on shelves here. This blue Game Gear, which I've never seen before. Check this out. You have the Atari Jaguar CD. They've got an Apple Pippin, that is the Apple gaming console that nobody bought. Here we have a boxed crystal Pocket Station from Sony, as well as multiple boxed N-Gauges, a Vectrex with the 3D Imager goggles, plus he's got a bunch of Nintendo stuff, including these Game & Watches, but check this out. He's got 2 test units for both the NES as well as the Super Nintendo. And then here's the sign that you would hang outside of your authorized repair center. How cool is that? And then he has these 2 authorized repair center manuals. Now this one right here is specifically for marketing and advertisement. So as we go through here, you see that it actually has the official information on how to recreate Mario. It even tells you exactly like the stencils to use, the logos, the colors, everything that you would need to actually officially, I guess, advertise your services. And then this one here is an official repair guide. So I guess you would use this to figure out what parts you need, but it also has information in here like how much it would cost for them to get the parts directly from Nintendo of America. It talks about the different colors, the official colors of pretty much everything that came out for all of the systems up to that point. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, I'd love to sit down and just read both of these in their entirety. It was definitely a cool piece of history. And again, he's got it here in the store. He's also got a bunch of signed stuff in here as well. So for instance, you see here the Harlem Globetrotters on the NES. He had the entire team sign that. And then I thought this was amazing. So check this out. This is a vintage Star Trek pinball playfield that he has been able to have signed by many of the Star Trek actors across all of the different generations here. So basically he takes us to meet and greets that come through the Las Vegas area, and he gets signatures on here, and he's got so many on this. This is really cool to see. And then he's also got some signed Atari 2600 cartridges here. Yeah, it just goes on and on and on. Again, it's really cool because, this is a fully functional retro gaming store that you can come in here and buy, but he's also got all of this stuff here that he's kind of collected over the last 20 plus years on display. So, yeah, it was pretty amazing. And by the way, everything is for sale. So the owner of this place told me that, he's kind of done. He's kind of done doing this retro gaming thing. He's been doing it for several decades, and he's just ready to move on to his next phase of his life. And so right now the store is actually for sale. He's looking for someone to just come in and just buy it. If that doesn't happen, he's going to liquidate the entire inventory of it next year. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what happens with this store. I mean, I might be doing another trip down here next year to try to negotiate and pick up some of the weirder and kind of more collectible parts of this, because yeah, like as you can see, he's just got some really cool stuff. So anyways, guys, that is my trip to Las Vegas, Nevada. I had a great time both on the Strip, checking out Las Vegas, the city, but also doing some retro game hunting. And speaking of which, it's time to hop back on a plane. go back to cold and rainy Seattle, and I think I need to show you what I picked up. Now, I didn't go completely crazy on this trip, but I did find some cool stuff, including Rings of Zelphin. This is an SSI RPG that came out in 1986. Now, what's cool about this game is that it's really designed to be kind of like a beginner's RPG, and it was one I didn't have in my collection, and I do love these classic RPGs. I'm not sure what happened, but somehow I lost my original copy of Philosoma. This is a really cool shooter that came out on the original PlayStation, and I found a really clean copy of it here, so I picked up another one of that. Very cool game if you haven't checked it out. I believe I actually included this on like a Hidden Gems video a while back. As well as a bit of an unusual game here. This is called a VCS Tech Challenge. It's based on a game called Aztec Challenge that came out, well, I played it originally on the Commodore 64. I saw that somebody did a port of it to the Atari 2600, so I had to pick that up. And I suspect many of you picked up this Legend of Zelda Game & Watch that came out recently from Nintendo. While I was down in Vegas, one of the retro gaming stores had this in stock, so of course I had to pick it up, and it's beautiful looking. And I'm continuing my quest for a complete Sony PSP game collection. You see another 5 games I found here. Again, nothing really super collectible. Thankfully, I have most of the expensive ones, and these were all relatively cheap. As well as a couple more sports titles, and I'm laughing because, again, this is the most sports titles I have for any other system, and it's hilarious. But thankfully, all of these were like $5 or less. I mean, they're super cheap. So again, it's not going to hurt the wallet very much. And then a bit of a random buy here. I picked up Hellsing on UMD video for the PSP. I picked this up simply because, again, it was cheap, but also I absolutely love the Hellsing anime. It's probably in my top 10 for sure. All right, well, that's my trip to Las Vegas, Nevada. And yeah, I had a great time. As you can see, huge smile on my face. You know, you go down to Vegas, you're going to have a good time. I mean, if you know what you're getting into, right? You know that you're going to go down there and, yeah, it's going to be overwhelming. It's going to be loud. It's going to be this or that. But man, it is an awesome city. It's really cool having family that lives down there. So it's, you know, it's fun to go down there and see my mom, my aunt, my uncle, all that stuff. But then also do some retro game hunting. Hey, it's a good thing. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and take care.